¿Qué pasa, YouTube? What's up, everybody? Hopefully y'all are having a good Monday today. So, before I jump directly into this battle, I am going to be bringing back something I haven't done for a while now, because I think some of you guys may have missed it, and I have got a couple comments here and there recently saying that they did like it when I did do this. But I will be bringing back the question of the day, which should be right next to me over there. If you guys can let me know the answer to that in the comment section below, would love to hear y'all's responses, because in this game there is a very popular set of NU that is run by one very scary mon, and that is Sceptile. Sceptile is absurdly powerful in the NU tier, so let me know what your favorite choice specs mon is to use in the comment section below. Now, this match was against Argon off of my Discord, and this is one of those rare instances where Argon and I had a very good battle, so hopefully you guys will sit back and enjoy this. I also have one quick thing to mention at the end of the battle. So, I'm using a team I used in a showdown live. If you guys would like to use that team, I'll leave a link to the showdown live in the description. And going into this battle, the biggest threats were easily going to be the Sceptile and possibly this Emboar, actually, because switching into both of those mons is a little bit difficult for this team to do, considering that it is a hyper offense team. There's no walls on this team, so really have to be careful with those. So I ended up leading off with Frost last turn one, go for the Icy Wind on a Sceptile, so the next turn I could maybe 2-hit KO him or go for my first layer of spikes. As he brings an Emboar, I outspeed him, because even if he scarfed the -1, I'm faster, so I get him my layer of spikes here as he actually switches into the Steelix, and I realistically do not want to let this Steelix get up rocks for free. Although at the same time though, I do want to try and weaken the Steelix, so I was debating on whether or not I wanted to go for the Will-O-Wisp or Stealth Rocks, or stop him from Stealth Rocking, sorry. So ultimately taunting, I felt, was by far my better play, because if anything, I can get more use out of the rest of my mons as long as he doesn't put Stealth Rocks up on my side of the field. So I'm going to take this chance just to get out my second layer of spikes on the off chance that he did want to go ahead and knock me out here, as he actually switches into the Hitmon top, maybe expecting me to go for Destiny Bond, considering that that used to be a very popular move on Frostlass, but not many of them run him nowadays. But it was still safe for him to switch out here. As he brings in the Hitmon top, I make a very bad play here. Like this, there was really no reason for me to Will-O-Wisp. Honestly, going straight for the taunt was by far the best play I could have made, because I was really hoping that he wouldn't have the Foresight, but at the same time, Foresight is a very common move on Hitmon top, so yeah, that was just a really bad play on my part. And then Argon makes an excellent play here, predicts me to switch out into my second ghost type, hopefully stopping him from rapid spinning, and he's gonna catch me with a Toxic, and that is even more annoying because I need Miss Magius in this matchup to guarantee a huge hit on not only the Steelix but possibly the Slowking, because I want to be able to pop my Never-Ending Nightmare on one of those two, making it easier for the rest of my team to be able to handle them. As he then stays in here, goes for the Foresight once more. I do have the taunt on this Miss Magius, but I really do not want to go for it on the off chance that he switches out, so if anything, I can Dazzling Gleam, see what he wants to do, and then go from there. Also, if he stayed in here, which he very well could have, as you saw, I'm able to get off a solid like 35-40%, and because he did go for the Foresight, I am again gonna be forced to switch out. Thankfully though, I do still have my Frostlass here, so I can switch it in on the potential rapid spin, as he's going to actually end up switching out here into a Steelix, probably thinking that I would just go for another Dazzling Gleam with my Miss Mages, which I was actually very close to doing so, but on the off chance that I didn't get the roll in my favor, I knew switching directly into Frostlass was by far my better play. This way, I'm also able to get off a bit of spikes damage on the incoming Steelix, because I'm going to force him out, which means next time he comes in, he's going to have to take even more damage. And much like earlier, I don't want him to get up Stealth Rocks for free, so I'm going to go straight for the taunt as he switches out into this Slowking here, as I then am able to get up my final layer of spikes, as he's going to opt to go for the Future Sight. Now, this Future Sight is kind of annoying, just because if I misplay around it, the combination of Future Sight and any other offensive move could potentially knock out a Pokemon on my team. So this turn I'm going to switch out into my Seismitoad, expecting him to want to go for the Fire type move or the Scald, as I'm going to switch back into my Frostlass here, basically as Death Water, because this is the turn that Future Sight is going to hit. So I would much rather lose my Frostlass than have to take a huge hit on any one of my other team members in this battle, because at this point Frostlass has done basically everything it's needed to do you, I got up 3 layers of spikes, I stopped rocks from being set up on my side of the field, and I was also able to burn this Hitmontop and nullify its leftovers. Although again, I should have just taunted instead of going for Will-O-Wisp, because I might have been in a bit of a better scenario, and then my Mismagius wouldn't have had to be toxic as well. But I do still have use for my Mismagius, as this turn I'm gonna bring in my Braviary. I believe it was a damage roll on whether or not I can knock him out here at this range of HP, depending on if he was physically defensive or specially defensive. And I guess in hindsight, what I should have done was just brought in Frostlass, because honestly, he has no switch-ins to my Frostlass. That's another huge benefit of my Mismagius and Frostlass in this game. I meant to say Frostlass, not Mismagius, but he's got no switch-ins to my Mismagius. So if anything, I could have just brought in Mismagius here instead of bringing in my Braviary. That also would have saved me an extra turn of taking toxic damage as well, and that may play a role later in the match, but at the moment it's really not that important, as I will be able to knock him out with the Shadow Ball. I was very positive he didn't have the Sucker Punch at this point, because he showed Toxic, he showed Future Sight, he showed Rapid Spin. His final move was most likely the Close Combat. As in comes the Emboar, very positive that this is Scarf just from the build of his team, so I'm going to make the aggressive switch directly into my Seismitoad here. Now, unfortunately, this is not a standard defensive Seismitoad. This is a more speedy offensive variant to take advantage of Icy Wind drops and just be able to revenge kill certain slow walls as this team kind of has issues with. And I end up making a bit of a questionable play here. Now, I thought that he might have had the Grass Knot, because I have seen non-scarfed Z-Move and Expert Bow Emboars recently in NU. So I was thinking, okay, he's gonna Grass Knot this turn so I can switch it to my Mismagius. At the same time though, I thought that he was gonna try and switch out to save his Emboar for later, but realistically looking at it, he had no reason to switch out, and even if he Grass Knotted, it wouldn't have been that big of an issue, because at the end of the day, I still have 3 layers of spikes up, which is more than enough damage that I need to be doing to his team and to his walls essentially. And unfortunately, I just end up losing my Seismitoad here, but I do have a chance to live another Flare Blitz depending on the damage roll that he gets. If he gets a low roll, I will be able to live and preserve my Seismitoad for Death Fodder for another potential Future Sight. But he is going to end up getting the roll in his favor here, knocking me out. And even after all the recoil damage that he has taken, I do not think he's in range of where an Adamant U-turn from Braviary will be able to knock him out. And I guess if I had the HP bar, I could have seen to see if he was in range of the U-turn, and then that way I could have potentially gone for the U-turn instead of going for the return here, because this invites him to bring in the Steelix, but he actually ends up bringing in the Slowking. Now, unfortunately, even after all these hazards, I can't one-hit KO Slowking, and I cannot afford to stay in here and take a potential modest Ice Beam or Fire Blast or Scald, so I have to switch out here. As I make an aggressive switch into my Sceptile, he's actually going to end up going for the Future Sight. Now, that's actually another really good play on Argon's part, because if he had brought in Steelix instead of Slowking here, I essentially was able to KO Steelix, thus getting rid of his only thing stopping my Tauros and Braviary from coming in and clicking their stab moves. At least by him bringing in the Slowking and going for the Future Sight, I now have to choose something on my team to be sacked off to the Sceptile, because nothing is going to be taking a Specs Leaf Storm plus a modest Future Sight. So as much as I love Tauros, I have to sack it off here. It's realistically not doing anything, and I know I'm not going to win a speed tie against the Alolan Raichu if it comes down to it. So he's able to knock me out with the combination of Giga Drain and Future Sight. Unfortunately, because of that Giga Drain recovery, he is out of range of where U-turn is a guaranteed KO on Sceptile, and it was actually very, very close this turn to going for either the return or the Brave Bird, but I'm very happy that I did end up trying to go for the roll in my favor. Plus, there was still a chance that he would have switched directly into his Steelix, expecting me to go for the return or the Brave Bird, wanting to guarantee the KO on Sceptile, but I'm able to knock out the incoming Raichu, which at this point did nothing because it was outsped by my Sceptile and my Scarf Braviary. So I will be able to bring in Sceptile here as I force him into his own Sceptile, because my Braviary is still at full HP and I was able to prevent him from getting up Stealth Rocks in this battle. I will be able to hard switch in here, take any one non-crit move, and in return pick him off with the U-turn, even if he wanted to switch out here into the Steelix after hazard damage and the little bit of chip damage from U-turn nullifying some of his leftovers recovery. My Sceptile would have been able to knock him out with the Giga Drain, and then at that point it would have come down to speed ties between my Sceptile and his Sceptile. But then I would have been able to potentially knock him out with the return from my Braviary anyway. So at this point, the battle is going to be in my favor because there's no way the Steelix will be able to beat the combination of Spec Sceptile and Scarfed Braviary. So that was a very, very good game to Argon, man. This match definitely had me on my toes. I got a little bit scared at the end, man. I really felt like the misplay with my Seismitoad switching out into my Mismagius against the Emboar is what really kind of put me a bit on tilt in this game, because as I said, I thought that maybe he would be Grass Knot, but again, realistically, I should have just left in Seismitoad, and if anything, I could have just gone for the Scald to guarantee a KO, and then I would have been able to get up rocks on the Steelix or the Slowking. But hey, it is what it is. In the end, I was able to pull out the victory though. So the quick little thing I want to mention to y'all is, for those of you who have been keeping up with my Draft League content videos, mainly the P4G, I did upload a a season recap video yesterday, kind of just going over what happened throughout the season. So if you guys would like to go check that out, definitely go check that out. Now the main focus for league uploads is going to be for the GBA D League. So yeah, hopefully you guys are excited for that. And as always, guys, have a good day. Hope y'all did enjoy the video. Hammer arm that like button down below and let me know your answers to the question of the day. So with that being said, I will see you all tomorrow. Later, everybody.
No matter where you're at, I'm not here to make friends, it's time to attack and deplete your HP with a final smash. Don't make me turn around and pull a 6ftHax. 6ftHax. Yeah. 6ftHax. Yeah. 6ftHax.